Welcome to the School of Love.
Berlin with Elke
and Sven. Thanks for listening in. The School of Love is a project we started, Elke and me, and we are from Berlin. And we thought that love needs education, enlightenment. That's why we are coaching couples and building a platform for much more in the School of Love. What are the things?
We are a couple ourselves. Yes. For 25 years.
We have raised 2 wonderful kids, lived in many different countries. We are writers and artists, and we are coaches. And today's topic is, it's not about you.
It's not about me.
It's not about you.
It's not about me.
No, it's not about you. And with the couples that we coach, we often encounter a problem that we obviously encounter with ourselves as well, is that many relationships come to a stage where there is a business deal.
We have different stages of or
phases.
Development. Phases or Reifegrade in German. What's the English word?
Maturity levels?
Maturity levels, yeah. So the first one is, I want from you. The second is the business deal. The business deal.
I give you that, you give me that, you give me that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tit for tat. And we are talking how to come from this to the next level. This is, what can I give you?
The unconditional love.
The unconditional love.
What happens is that we talked about that when we fall in love, I believe that we see in the other person with a kind of a divine view the possibilities of this person, the kind of the size, the real size, the possibilities the other person has, and then maybe growing into this relationship, we realize that the other person isn't performing as we expected and is maybe more human or more kind of selfish than we thought.
I think there's always 2 views. The one thing is a greatness that we see, and potential that we see in the other person. That's true. And the other one is our projection of what we want them to be to fulfill our needs. So these are 2 things. And when we come to get to know each other better and spend more time, then this stage of disillusionment comes, where we see that the other person is a incomplete person and flawed person as we are ourselves. And there is disappointment, and there will be a power struggle.
And it is a truly psychological, even like biological trait we have, is that we are looking for the best for ourselves. And in that stage of relationship, we obviously kind of tend to say, what's in for me? And then often there's a power brokerage between couples saying, okay, I get that, you get that. And it's always a deal that never kind of gives a good result, right? Because it never gives real satisfaction. It's more like it's like a business deal that should actually lead to a win-win situation, but in a love relationship, it does not. And let's take a modern context. For example, like we like it from Sweden or Germany, the wife is going out. She's a manager, working long hours, coming home in the evening. The man is taking care of the kids, 3 kids, educating them or playing with them all day. And both of them are frustrated. The other one is not thankful for what they do. And that the other one does not understand the struggles and the long hours, and the thankfulness is lacking in the relationship. And there is a deal like, okay, now you cook, now we do that. You know, it's such a lack relationship instead of having an overflow relationship of happiness. You're nodding? You're saying something?
Yes, I'm looking for the word Wertschätzung. So that each person feels valued and seen by the other person. And
the character of love is not the business deal. It's just a kind of reflex we have, or a way how we try to solve a problem, because on a deeper level we don't know how to solve it. But the nature of love is giving.
We will never feel more fulfilled and in our purpose when we are giving out of selfless reasons and being there for another person that we love and seeing this person grow or getting better, prosper, through just being there for them and feeling their thankfulness and feeling their... It even makes the other person want to give you more. If we start giving, the other person want to give. If we start demanding, we just get demand back. So we always mirroring the other person. So if we want them to have a certain behavior, we have to be that for that person that we want them to be. That's the only way we can change. But to do that, we have to put back our needs first and feel and get to know the other person's needs and fulfill them because we love them and because we just love to see them thrive and be happy.
But that's an interesting thing how we can do that. Let's give you an example. We lived in South Africa for many years, came back to Berlin. We had a wonderful flat. Our daughter was still going to school. Our son just had finished school. It was the perfect flat and Elke was happy there. But then we had the opportunity to start a huge community project with refugees. And it was very successful, but it meant that we left this apartment and moved into a small, stinky old age home room. That we obviously the project
former old age home.
Yeah, that we could kind of change into that amazing share house. And it was a fantastic project and we were happy in it, but it was a sacrifice for Elke because the vision that we both shared was more my vision than Elke's.
It was very hard for me to be there, but I knew if I would just go, because I knew how it was Sven's dream to do that. He was dreaming, and it was like a miracle when it happened. So I knew I have to be there and support him in this. And it was a struggle because I left our family home, and everything changed. Our kids had to move out. We lived there in this tiny room with a shared kitchen and shared wash thing, and so I knew if I could have looked for my own apartment and he went to work, but it wouldn't have worked out. So I knew I had to be there for him in this time.
And the project ended after 2 years for us. It ended a bit earlier than we wanted to, and it kind of kept me busy in my mind, thinking of all the things that we could have done, we should have done, I should have done. Why was my dream not really continuing to prosper? And I found that walking down the street, talking to God, I had a very interesting revelation, and it's just struck me because I heard, well, maybe you take care of Elke now, and Elke's dreams, and Elke's visions, and Elke's desires. And I realized, and I felt so liberated from my own heaviness of my mind and my busyness for my own thing, that all of a sudden I realized, well, it's Elke's season, I'll serve her now. And that gave me an amazing new freedom to kind of really follow Elke in a vision to what we're going to do next. And that's something that absolutely worked out.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's easy. I struggled these 2 years. I struggled, but I always saw Sven thriving and growing, and it helped to see him having his desires fulfilled. And I think even now it's also difficult for you to somehow put your will or your going your own way or doing your thing.
Me?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm happy.
So for him it's much easier, of course. But it's indeed liberating to do things out of love.
By the way, the thing that Elke pursued was coaching. And as we always coached other people, and it was always a way of we always loved to mentor others, and especially couples and young people, but to make it more like a profession. That was Elke's desire. And I realized it's the right way to go. And I really could trust her following her. And it really worked out amazing. Thank you, darling. It was really such a freedom to understand that I can serve you in that dream.
Yeah, and as you do that, thank you. And as we do that, we serve ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the best thing, because if we don't make it about us, but about the other person, we make it about us, because we will get back what we give. We are one. As a couple, as a team, together, in a family, we are one. And all the hurt and all the pain and all the good that we do to each other or give each other is something that will come right back at us. So for all of you who have problems with selflessness or think that's not me, or so you're doing it for yourself. Everything you do to anyone in the world, you do it for yourself. And to understand that in a way it's not about you or it's not about me, it's all about you.
I think the big question is always, how can I, coming out of lack and out of hurt, give and love? And I think it's a question of attitude. We will always be lacking something, and we'll always feel maybe not good enough, and we maybe always think that we lack of something that we can't give. But the truth is, if we start giving in the moment of not having enough, we get richer. The whole sharing idea is based on that. And I think for me, again, this kind of, when I meditate every morning and think about kind of what's going on with me, what should I do, I realize it's not about, less of me, please, less of me. The constant search, the whole individualism in modern society is quite interesting. That we live in an amazing society where we absolutely have amazing standards how we can live. But the search for the self-optimization is such a lonely one, because it cannot give. It can only just optimize yourself. And this has not much to do with self-love. So how can we kind of solve the problem of how can we love ourselves and value ourselves, and how is it not always about me? And I think the solution is both is true. If we come to the point that we are loved and we are enough and that we can love ourselves, we are on a level where we can love others. We don't need others. I don't need you, Elke. That's a hard truth, you know. But by not needing you and knowing that I'm enough, I can shower you with love and do great things for you and support you and serve you. I think that's the secret of love.
Yeah, it's true, and it's even you need me in a way that you don't think you would need me, and this is in a way that we help each other to grow as we bring out even all the things you hate in yourself, or the things that you need and don't see fulfilled, the things that make you crazy about the other person in a bad way. We always said that, I like to say that the other person is like your character gym. So he helps you to train muscles that you don't even know you have, like patience, forgiveness, grace, gratefulness, gratitude, and to use it like that and see what you can learn from what you seem to be lacking is a good way to see even if you still feel the lack that you're missing, and you still see that you don't get from the other person what you want.
Yeah.
I had another story that when I went for a walk a long while ago, and I was so frustrated with our living situation with Sven, who was all the reasons why we were there where we were, which wasn't that bad anyway, but I couldn't see that. I couldn't see what we had. I just only could see what we didn't have, and I made him responsible for all of that. So I walked and I just had my conversation and I blamed him for everything, and suddenly it struck me and I saw myself and I thought, what did I do, or how did I support him in all the things that he already does? And I just saw myself and I saw that I was not supportive at all. I was demanding, I was blaming, I was criticizing, and I was not supporting him. And it was such a relief to see it's not him. It was me not helping him or supporting him to be the man that I want him to be. And I went home and then apologized. And I think you need that revelation to get into that perspective, to see yourself in that way, to really understand that it's not about me in a way I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly, but in a different way.
It's just a turnaround, a change of perspective that really makes you see. And if you want to see that, just ask and it will be given to you. And it's not that it came like guilt and shame. It just came like a revelation, like, wow, I have the power. It's me who can change this. It's me who can do things. It's a self-empowering thought to see that we have the power to change our partner in supporting him and helping him to be the person we want them to be, we see in them.
I just remember that we learned from an amazing couple older than us that struggled in their marriage, and that just decided, both of them at the same time, to really love and respect, and to, against their feeling of lack and their feeling of not being heard and not being seen and not being loved, to be proactive and say, no, she said, I'll respect him and really serve him and encourage him and see up to him, and he said, I will really love her and really, really cherish her. And it turned around their marriage. And it established a new culture of loving, I think. This is, I think, what we are talking about. We have to establish a new culture of loving, how we love each other. Because in our default mode, often we tend to things that are not healthy for us. That is looking for my best and for my best interest.
And we know so many ways how to, if people get in fights, they know so many ways how to hurt the other person and to really bring out the worst in them and to trigger every not desired emotion. So we're so good at that, but we should be good at knowing how to do each other good. What can I do to make you calm down, to make you feel heard, make you feel safe, make you feel loved, make you feel respected? So to train that and to make it not about you, but what can you do to make...
You gave great advice the other day to someone, and I thought, because you saw a correlation of kids and adults, and just to say that we raised 2 kids, and they are thankful, but not as thankful as they could be for all the effort we put in and all the suffering and the things they will ever remember. But
no, they always will remember what you did wrong.
But those of you who have kids know that raising kids is so unselfish. Some people try to make it selfish, but it's almost impossible, I think. And sadly, some try. But the thing is that we learn so much from raising kids if we can love one another the same way, as really wanting to see the best in the other person. And then love has a different economy. That's the interesting thing. I think if you think of a win-win business deal economy, it doesn't work. It works in different areas, but it doesn't work with love. Love works with unconditional giving, loving, encouraging, and then what comes back is even greater. But to get into that, sometimes it can be a bit hard to kind of change your behavior or to change your attitude, or your feelings even are in your way, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, we had another podcast about feelings and emotions and how to deal with it. And to know that we are not complete and to know that we are imperfect, but also knowing that we are enough and we are loved the way we are, and that we can love each other the way we are, and let us space to be who we are and grow to what we know we can grow to. This is the way to go, and to accept yourself for your imperfection, and at the same time feeling complete and knowing that there is nothing on the outside that will make you completer or make you better or make you more worth, that you can give it to yourself in just accepting the way you are will make a big difference.
And when we both had a fight the other day, we learned that our reactions were like trying to be right or trying to fight something out or so on, or to make a point, when actually we needed a hug or understanding or a gesture of love and encouragement. And it's interesting that it really is against some kind of nature in us where we have to learn to say, well, just wait a minute, step back, like in a meditation, step back and say, what's going on? There's some strange pattern in our behavior that is not healthy. And to step back and say, wait, I'll give you a hug, or I listen to you, or I want to know what it is really about, what you're troubled about. So I think that's a good thing to exercise.
Yeah, the awareness to, in that situation when your brain just shuts off and your instincts kick in, to stop in that moment. But this is another talk that we will.
Thank you for listening.
Stay tuned.
This is good news. You can be relieved. It's not about you.
It's not about you. You can visit our website.
www.schooloflove.berlin.
And you can even
visit our Facebook fan page, School of Love.
Berlin. Or group.
And we just started also a group in English. So you're welcome to join there as well.
And if you feel stuck, you can also book
a coaching with us. We have
a free coaching.
Yeah, first hour is free, where we really listen to you, where we try to find out what your goals are as a couple, what your obstacle are, what your dreams are, what's in your way, and what are the possibilities. So we want to give you clarity about what you really can do about it and how you can change it. And give you the next steps. That's absolutely for free. And then in the end, you can decide if you want to work with us or not. And that's something worth trying, I think.
Oh, bye.
Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day, because it's not about you.